Hey, I'm going to make you a mixtape. What do you think about that? This week on Waterproof Records, I'm going to try something I've never tried before, and we're going to see how it goes. If it works, then hey, this could be a whole series of things that we do on the podcast, and I bring it back in different ways. But this episode, we're making a mixtape. And plainly put, I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to call it, but I'll tell you right now what the working title is, and maybe it ends up being the name of the podcast, but we'll find out, won't we, once I release it. But this episode is going to be called 10 Songs That Give Me Life, 90s Edition. So what do you say? Let's go!
Things are gonna change, I can feel it.
If this gonna be that kind of party, I'm gonna...
Waterproof Records. Waterproof Records. Waterproof Records with Jacob Gibbons.
Okay, it's time. It's time. I realized I probably should have brought some blank tapes down here as a symbol, as showing what we're about to do on this week's episode. But before I hold an invisible mixtape in my hand, I'm here to tell you about DistroKid, distrokid.com/VIP/waterproof. Save yourself 30% off of uploading your songs to the rest of the world. If you don't know how it works, it's so simple. You get an account, you upload your music, and it's literally on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere in the world. YouTube even, it's out immediately. So what are you waiting for? Use my link, distrokid.com/VIP/waterproof. Get 30% off your first year of uploading your music, and thank you for their support on this show. Now, you're probably like, what are we doing? A mixtape? I clicked on the title of this episode. I'm watching this YouTube video, and I'm so confused. And if you're watching the video, you're also confused as to where are we? Well, we're in my home studio that is 90% done. It's not done, and I'll tell you why. For those listening, I'm sitting in front of a partial wall, the brick wall. I've got my table set up. It looks pretty freaking sweet. I love it. But here's the thing. I'm lost on just a few elements, and so I've resorted back to classic filming the episode on my iPhone. I'm running the mic like I used to because I have this other setup and I couldn't get it to work tonight. And that's why I'm recording this episode later than I've ever recorded an episode before. It is almost midnight and I am exhausted. But let me tell you something. The subject of tonight's podcast, of today's, whenever you're listening to it, is about high energy songs. Songs that give me life. And the reason I decided to do this is mixtapes have come up so recently with my move, finding them. I've had a lot of great conversations recently about mixtapes. They just keep coming up over and over again. And I felt like, well, maybe this would be a cool thing to do on the show. Also, it's been a little tricky with all the moving parts and things changing, like getting a studio space, going over to Lazy Pickle and interviewing somebody there and then coming back here. So it's just growing pains, you guys. And I'm grateful that you're willing to go with me during these growing pains. But I think tonight's going to be fun. Today, this afternoon, whenever you're listening to it, I think it's going to be fun. And as I was figuring out what I was going to do for this, as I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, I'm going to do 10 songs that energize me. That was like the initial idea. And when I began making the list, I started by not staying in the 90s. Okay. So at first I was jumping all over the place. I was going to, Van Halen and Journey and these songs that just not even in the same decade over time. I had a song from 2009. And then I was like, okay, wait a second. If I'm going to do this again, I think I should narrow it down to a decade. And I think that way it'll give me some parameters to choose things in that decade. And then if I do this again, 10 songs that give me life 80s edition or 70s edition, I could do that as well. And that would be a fun thing to really challenge myself. But when I chose these 10, there is no way these are the only 10 songs that give me life or give me energy or whatever I'm calling this. There are more. But I started thinking about, and this was the memory that came to me. I started thinking about driving my car and being tired. Okay, you've all been there before. You're on a road trip, you're trying to make a long distance, and you have to put on some music to stay awake. You can't put on Radiohead. You can't put on Simon and Garfunkel. You can't put on something that's going to lull you asleep. I mean, there's some things by Radiohead you could probably put on, but you might start seeing things in the dark. But I have always had go-to songs that I like to listen to kind of like just stir me back to life and make me feel like I can do this. I can do this. And I was like, that's kind of where I'm going to start. So what I thought was interesting was a lot of these songs, they land in that early time in my life from driving to college, those times where you're on the road. And they've also been songs that through my adult life, I'm driving and I'm like, I need that energy right now. And also, I want to keep this evergreen, but I did want to say a lot of things are going on right now in the world that are bumming us out, that are a nightmarish situation. And we're all doing our best to get by with how dark things feel. Now, it's funny because I'm going to say that, and this could air at any time over the past several years, and hopefully not going forward forever, but it does seem to be like we just don't get a break. So the podcast is your break. You're going to just think about music. I'm going to introduce you to some songs maybe you didn't know, or songs that you've never heard before, or these are ones that you love. Either way, we're going to have a fucking blast, okay? We're going to just talk about bands and enjoy ourselves and enjoy these songs, these 10 songs. And hopefully you'll walk away from this and you'll just be like, I got to take a break for half an hour or 40 minutes or however long I talk. And so these are the songs that are going to keep you awake, keep you energized. And I hope to revisit this idea of songs that, 10 songs that give you, the sads or, the emotions, or 10 songs that make you hyped up. And there's so many things that we could do about this. And so I want to also specify in this playlist that I'm about to give you, there could be tons of songs from the 90s that I didn't choose yet. So there might be a part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5 of this idea, 10 songs that give me life. And also, I didn't lean too hard on heavy metal or anything that was like rage or like something that was like ferocious. I was looking more for like, it just puts a little bounce in me. Like I feel a lot of energy from it. I feel like I could drive another 100 miles. I could drive 500 miles. But let's dive in. You've waited for me to get to the very first song on our mixtape. I am going to start us off with a song called Alec Eiffel by the band Pixies. And let me tell you what I love about this song. This song starts just right in. Just dives in with the snares, and Frank Black just starts singing right away. It just dives right in. But there is a specific song. So the whole thing is energizing. From the moment the song gets going, I'm like, I'm in. Like if a mixtape opened with this, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, here we go. Or if I was dozing off in the car and I heard Alec Eiffel, I would turn it up immediately and I would start moving in my chair. But the best part of this song, the best part in my opinion, is Joey Santiago starts doing this picking thing, this that, and then it leads to the keys. Oh, Alexander, I see beneath the archway of the... Oh, my God. The way that those parts are complementing each other in that section right there, it drives me crazy. It makes my scalp tingle how much I love that part. I love it so much. And if you're only watching the YouTube version of this podcast, I'm not going to be able to play that segment for you, but I do it on the audio versions because YouTube won't let me do them But on the audio versions, I can get away with my little 30-second clips. And so far, thanks to Pantheon, it's not an issue. So if you want to listen to this episode, you'll get to hear that little clip I was talking about and how much I freaking love it. Oh, it's so good. So this comes from their 4th studio album, Trompe le Monde. And this isn't my favorite Pixies album. I like it a lot, but it is the last record that they will record together before they break up, and the first time they break up, and the last album with Kim Deal on bass. So this is definitely the end of the OG Pixies lineup. And the way I was introduced to Trompe le Monde was the single Head On there, which I didn't even realize when they put it out. I didn't even realize at the time when I heard it that it was a Jesus and Mary Chain cover. But that's a great song too. But I love Alec Eiffel, and I love this song. And this album was produced by Gil Norton, and it was recorded in Burbank, California, which I live like so close to, also in Paris and London. But I thought it was pretty cool that it was recorded in Burbank, California, released September 24th, 1991. So it does qualify in my running of 90s songs that give me life. So song 1 on the mixtape, Alec Eiffel, Pixies. Now, this next one, I've wondered if I should move around. I should move around. I'm going to move around a little bit, only because this next one is such a deep cut. If I was making this album, I probably wouldn't go right to another deep cut right away. So let's go to something that is another sing-along, dance my butt off tune. And I've done a full podcast episode on this album before, so I won't belabor it too much, but I will play you a section of this song. And that song is Disco 2000 by Pulp, and it's off of A Different Class. And that album is fantastic, so much so that I did a full episode on it. But when I hear that song come on, I go nuts. I do, every single time. One time, my buddy Noel and we sang it in karaoke together, and we went crazy. Oh, wait, no, we sang Common People. We sang Common People, not Disco 2000. But Disco 2000, I still stand behind. There was I was on my way to Oasis Live, and I was in this bus with a group of people, and it came on over the speakers, and everybody was talking, and I was just over there just like singing Disco 2000 by Pulp. And this song, I mean, you can't resist Jarvis going, her name was Deborah, Deborah. It never suited ya. It just builds and gets to this huge, big chorus like so many amazing Pulp songs do. And Common People steals all the thunder that is Disco 2000, in my opinion, because Disco 2000 is as good as Common People is. And I absolutely love this song. And I didn't bring all the preparedness of the dates and times that it was recorded on this, because honestly, I was putting this together pretty quickly. But that would be my next song on the mixtape. All right. Now we're going to go to something. This is the deep cut. This is deep cut. So I'm going to move around and say this is a song that I'm guessing a lot of you aren't familiar with. But there are many of my friends and people that are music nuts and fanatics and would know this band. This band is called Burning Airlines, and it is a side project, an offshoot of Jay Robbins from Jawbox. And so it was actually started by Jay Robbins and Bill Barbeau of Jawbox, formed with Peter Moffett from Government Issue. And they formed this band, Burning Airlines, in the late 90s when Jawbox is kind of starting to fizzle out. And once Jawbox is officially over, then they do Burning Airlines. And this is on Mission Control, the song I'm going to choose. The song is called Pacific 231. And, this came out in 1999. The Burning Airlines, their name is taken from a Brian Eno song. And Pacific 231 is just got this drum that is, I'm not a drummer, but it's like a marching snare, like I don't even know what I would call it, but it just keeps going. And there's so much energy in this song. And the main riff, once we get in the chorus, that Pacific 231, I could hardly get my mouth around that. has so much energy behind it. And that's one thing that's been consistent so long. I am just flooding you with energy with this mixtape. And I'm never going to really calm down. These 10 songs that give me life, 90s edition. That's what I'm doing. Give me life. So Burning Airlines only released 2 albums and a self-titled 7-inch. And then they did split releases with At the Drive-In and Braid. And then they kind of called it quits because right around the time of 9/11, I mean, they called it quits for a myriad of reasons, but, right around the time of 9/11, they were touring and nobody wanted to put Burning Airlines in the marquee. So that was a bummer for them as well. But the band comes apart. But what's very exciting is they are playing, Jay Robbins is playing. It says Jay Robbins plays Burning Airlines at Best Friends Forever Festival in October. And I will be there and I'll hopefully get to see Jay. And I believe that Peter Moffat is going to be playing with him. So this will be cool to see them do that together. And Brooks Harlan will be joining them as well. So anyway, that is it. Pacific 231, Burning Airlines. My mouth is having a hard time saying that quickly because, again, like I said, it's midnight. And I can already hear my voice getting tired. But we're going to keep going because this is the Energy Podcast. Okay, now we're on, I believe, track 4. So let's jump back again. We're going to go to another song that I have covered on the podcast because it's been on an album that I've covered on the podcast. And that is Faith No More, Everything's Ruined. This is my number 1 Faith No More song of all time. They have so many great ones, but this one drives me wild. I love it. I will never doze off while driving if Everything's Ruined is on. The bass hits, the part where it goes dun 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 dun. So many of these songs I put on playlists like I had a playlist once called Steering Wheel Drummer. Because it's just when you're driving in the car and you just can't help but beat the ever-living shit out of your steering wheel. Even if you're not a drummer, you just want to punch and hit on all those kicks and those guitar strikes and whatnot. And this definitely falls into that category. This is on Angel Dust from 1992. And, I've covered Angel Dust, a full episode on that. And so much can be said about Mike Patton as an incredible voice and who Faith No More is at the time, the members, Jim on guitar, and everything about the sound that will kind of change a little bit after this. But I love Everything's Ruined, and I'm going to play you, if you're listening to the episode, my favorite part right now. But if you're just watching, we have to move on. And you can imagine, or you can hit pause and go listen to Everything's Ruined by Faith No More. All right. The next song on the playlist, we're going to go a little emo on this one. And I've yet to cover this full album, but I probably will because it's a pretty big deal for me. This song comes from a band called the Get Up Kids, and the song is Holiday. This is the opening track on Something to Write Home About, which came out in 1999, fall of 1999. I think I have the date here, somewhere in September, I think. And this will forever remind me of, the first time I heard this album. I had just moved to LA. I didn't hear it in 99. I heard it, a few years later when I just arrived. And, this album is about kind of being homesick and being away from home. And so it was a perfect thing to discover at that time in my life. But this opening song has a pick scrape, a pick drag across the string. I got to tell you, you open a song with, oh, I'm in. And the way that guitar riff climbs up and down and back again. And then Matt Pryor's voice comes in, and it's just so great. Energy. I'm telling you, the Get Up Kids are from Kansas City. They're famously a Midwest emo band, formed in 1995. Definitely a part of the second wave of emo, and it's basically Ryan and Rob Pope, Jim Septic, and Matt Pryor. And I was so lucky because earlier this year I got to see the 25th anniversary live performance of Something to Write Home About, and it was so great. And I got to meet all those guys, and it was such a privilege and honor. And I think, fingers crossed, I think one, maybe two of them, maybe just one, have agreed to come onto the podcast when they're in town. So I will work on making that happen for you. But I really enjoyed getting to meet all of them. It was so cool to see them play these songs live. I got to see them also at Best Friends Forever last fall, but when I saw them at whatever the name of that club is, it's super far inland, I got to go see them, and it was fantastic. That club will come back to me shortly. All right, so that is, I don't even know where we are because I have them numbered, but I'm jumping around on my list. But let's go to another. We went from... we had Alec Eiffel, and then we went to Disco 2000, and then we went to Pacific 231, and then we went to Everything's Ruined, and then we went to Holiday by the Get Up Kids. Okay, so let's go to, you're not going to be surprised by this one at all. And obviously, I could put so many choices for songs by this band, because you know, and I know, we both know what I'm about to say. Smashing Pumpkins. But I'm going to choose something because there's a lot of great 90s Smashing Pumpkins that I love, a lot of energizing. And I don't know what you think I'm going to say, but my choice is going to be Geek USA. Yes, Geek USA. Why not Silverfuck? Again, I could make these lists over and over again and do a new song on each time from different bands. But when I think of a song that just, the way that Jimmy Chamberlain's drums kick in the beginning, the way he's like coming in and then just like a horn, like a just, oh my God, the way that the guitar comes in, and that song gives me life. It gives me life, and the journey that it takes you on when it slows down and does the groove at the end. And I mean, Silverfuck also, the thing about Silverfuck, high energy song, but it has a very slow middle section to it, right? So again, I'm driving on the road, love the song. So maybe that's a song when I know I'm not going to be drowsy. But Geek USA, I can't fall asleep during Geek USA. No fucking way. That's the slogan. Fall asleep during Geek USA? No fucking way. You're damn right. You're darn tootin'. So, of course, this is off of Siamese Dream in 1993. And Cherub Rock is another one that gives me a lot of energy. So maybe that'll be on a different mixtape that gives me life. But I'm going to go with Geek USA. And then we have tons of great Pumpkin songs off of Gish and off of their B-Sides compilations album Pisces Iscariot. And then Things Slow Down on Adore. Of course, we have Melancholy. There's tons of heavy, life-giving songs on that. And then we get more on Machina. So I've got plenty to pick from that band. You know I do. But good time as any on this mixtape to give you a little Geek USA by the Smashing Pumpkins. Okay, now I'm going to go to another one that is not, you're hearing some bands on here like that are really big names like Pixies and Faith No More and Smashing Pumpkins. But again, some of these songs I discovered at that college time, driving a lot. And this band and this song, I love how much just bouncing, bubbly, fun energy that it gives me. And the band is called The Promise Ring, and the song is called Why Did We Ever Meet? And it's off of Nothing Feels Good in 1997. And Promise Ring started in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and this was their second studio album produced by Jay Robbins. So look at that. We made some connections here. And the band was Dan Didier. I hope I'm saying his name right. It's Didier. I always assume when I see that IER, it's like Didier, but it might be just Didier, Dan Didier. And then Davey Von Bolen. And of course, Jason Newikow. And that is The Promise Ring. Now, when I was at Best Friends Forever last fall, I was sitting on a curb just taking a break between bands. And Dan walked up to me and I didn't recognize him. And he was just talking to me a little bit. He was like, yeah, I'm drummer for The Promise Ring. And I was like, oh shit. Nice to meet you. This is a pleasure. So it's crazy sometimes because you'll meet people that you'll have seen pictures of them or, whatever, but time has passed and we're growing older. So I was just like, nice to meet you, Dan. But The Promise Ring, great band. And this song, Why Did We Ever Meet? It just kicks off immediately with so much energy. But what I love about this song is the ba 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 da ba ba ba. I mean, sometimes you can do that so perfectly in a song that you're like, you couldn't doze off. You couldn't get drowsy to this. This is a blast. This song is a bash. It's a party in my car right now. And I love this song, and I've counted on it many times to get me through long drives and sleepy times. And the thing about this band, they broke up in 2002. They haven't released new music, but they've done some, they've played some shows again since 2016. And they had side projects like Maritime, Vermont. And if you didn't know, this is kind of interesting. Davey Von Bolen from Cap'n Jazz, who is Promise Ring, he's the guest vocalist on Jimmy Eat World's Praise Chorus. So he sings a little part of that song there. If you didn't know who that extra voice was on that song, it is Davey Von Bolen from The Promise Ring. That is a fantastic song. I highly recommend if you're tired. By the way, you want to hear a funny trick? This is not me suggesting anything. So I've got to say, a friend told me this years ago, and I've always thought it's so funny. They say like ways to keep you awake at night when you're driving your car. And obviously the responsible thing to do is to pull over and rest and not drive sleepy. But a funny one that I was told once was, if you're really sleepy while you're driving your car at night, take your wallet out of your pocket, roll down your window, and hold your wallet out the window while you drive. That cracks me up because, holy shit, I think I would definitely stay awake. But I'd be too afraid that like the wind would get too strong or my grip would loosen and I'd lose my wallet. But I mean, I guess that's the point, is it would make you stay very vigilant. But don't try that. Do not listen to me saying that and then you just go try it. Definitely get some rest. Don't do that trick. But I've always cracked up at the notion of holding a wallet in your hand out your window while you're driving and that keeping you awake. I suppose you could do it with your phone too. I mean, geez, I don't think I'd be able to fall asleep if that was going on. So anyway, okay, let's keep going. We've done pretty well. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're more than halfway through. And again, could easily take this list beyond 10, but we're gonna be responsible. Okay, now I just did Why Do We Ever Meet? So I'm gonna go to one that I think is so super fun. And if I remember right, it was on the Big Daddy soundtrack, or at least in the movie, Adam Sandler movie. But this is from Shirley Manson and the Gang, Garbage. This song is called When I Grow Up, off of version 2.0, which came out in 1998. And this song will forever remind me of the part where there's the bass hit and it goes boom, boom, because that's another one of those steering wheel drummer parts. It's like what I was talking about earlier. I'm going to say, When I Grow Up, lyrics, Garbage, because I want to read the part that she says when it goes, blood and blisters on my fingers. Chaos rules when we are apart. And then it goes, boom, boom. And the way that I would look forward to that, there are specific moments in songs, and I know you know what I'm talking about, where you're looking forward to getting to just this one sound or this one part. And that I've always really looked forward to that. This is another bop, right? It's got the digital beats behind it. It's catchy. It's got like the Promise Ring song, the ba ba da ba. When you do that perfectly in a song, energy. Song that gives you energy. So again, Shirley Manson, Butch Vig, other two guys, forgot your names at the moment. My apologies. But that's a killer song. And that's the energy that I want to give you on this mixtape right now. There's not much else I know about version 2.0 in terms of an album, but I do love that album very much. And I believe Garbage is on tour right now, and I've never seen them live. So I hope I can find my way there and see them put on a show. But version 2.0 is fantastic. I did a full episode on their first self-titled album with the pink feathers on it. But this is definitely another solid record by this band. Okay, now I'm going to go to, let's see. What do we do next? Okay. let's close out with, where do we go, guys? I think my goodness, we're a lot further along than I thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I think now we got to go for Ginger Ale Afternoon by the Flaming Lips. Okay. This is on Hit to the Death in the Future Head in 1992. This is before Transmissions from the Satellite Heart with the Don't Use Jelly fame that comes for this band. And then, this is the early Lips era with the Ronald's guitar sound. And this is definitely a trebly recording. I wish the recording was a little stronger. It could use more like depth and rounded outness to it. But I love Ginger Ale Afternoon. This has always been a summer jam for me. Windows down, feeling the vibes, and like I was going to go to a party somewhere or something. I don't know. There's just something. The sun's shining. You're doing that thing out the window with your hand. The window's down and you're going your hands up and down like this, like they do in every car commercial and they do in every fucking Sundance movie. But doesn't mean it isn't fun to do to music. It might be overused, but it's fun to do. But Ginger Ale Afternoon, the Lips formed in 83. This was their 5th studio album, so they'd been around the block a few times, and they were about to go on and do so many other amazing things. And I just saw them again in Santa Barbara with Modest Mouse, and oh my God, it's just, the Flaming Lips put on such a good show. It is such a fun time. If you ever get a chance to go see the Flaming Lips live, I highly recommend it. They are just nothing but a joyful, colorful, sparkling party. And everybody there to see them is there to have a good time, and you'll have a good time, and it's love and it's joy. And they put their lyrics up on the screen so you can sing along, and there's giant inflatable pink robots and there's confetti, and it just feels like you've been invited to a New Year's party, and it's amazing. So go see them live. But they don't play Ginger Ale Afternoon. This is definitely a deep cut, but I would put it on your mixtape. This album was delayed by a year because they used Michael Kamen's sample from the movie Brazil in the album, and so it took a year for them to clear the rights on that. And I think that's on You Have to Be Joking. Not sure, but I think so. Okay, I think we're down to the very last song on my mixtape here. I've done them all, but we're going to close out this mixtape right now with the song Rear View Mirror by Pearl Jam. Of course I had to do this one. You're driving, rear view mirror. So it starts out catchy with just that driving riff. I took a drive today, right? This is totally a driving song. But where it goes and the way Vedder's voice gets more and more intense as we go through the song, this is such a energizing, like I could do anything, go anywhere vibe to this song. And I wanted to finish strong on this mixtape and make you feel like you could do anything. So let me leave you with this parting thought. Oh, well, before I get to that, hold on. Rearview Mirror, this is off of Versus, which was released in 1993. It's their 2nd studio album. A lot of great songs. And let me tell you something. I had so many more songs that give you energy. I get honorable mentions. Song 2, Blur. It's 2 minutes long. Maybe it'll make another playlist of mine. And there's so many more that I was like, oh, well, this one and this one and this one. And I also was tempted to take songs from other eras, but we kept it in this first time to see what you guys think. Was it fun? It wasn't necessarily that educational of a podcast. I'll give you that. You didn't learn much. It was just me sharing songs that I think rock and that energize me, and I'm sharing them with you. So it's a gift of love. It's a gift of love. Don't you see? But I do want to send you love out there because things have been fucking hard, man. I mean, I don't know if you're all caught up on my episodes, but obviously if you heard the in utero one, you know I've been going through a little bit of an ordeal. And I just got back home from seeing family and experiencing the celebration of life for my cousin. And things have been so dark, and I want to continue to bring you guys joy and light and love. energize your life. And I know music can do that for us. I know that our conversations can help keep us going. So I want you to do me a favor. I want you to comment when I post about this episode. I want you to comment songs that give you life. I want to hear them. And maybe I'll cover them at some point in time, but I just want to know what gives you life. You can do it in the YouTube video, or if you listen to this and you go under one of my posts about this episode, you can just comment it. But I want to hear what it is that gives you life. And then maybe we can, if you enjoyed this and we had fun, give me that feedback, and maybe we can find ways to do more episodes like this. I can do more top 10s and make this a part of my channel and make it where I'm making mixtapes and I'm digging back into the vaults and I'm getting stuff that you don't know about, or I'm getting some stuff from my childhood, or things that I've just discovered the past 2-3 years that I think are amazing. But I think we can have a lot of fun doing this. So that's pretty much it. That's the 10 songs that give me life 90s edition. So before I get out of here, I did want to give a shout out to Pantheon Podcast. Thank you so much, Pantheon Podcast, the biggest network of music podcasts ever. If you haven't checked it out, they have any band or genre or style. I guarantee they've got it. You can look up Pantheon Podcast and you'll just see so many amazing shows, Waterproof Records being one of them. But they really help keep this show going, and I'm so grateful for them. And of course, DistroKid. Thank you, DistroKid, for giving me that link and helping all my audience members save 30% off their first year of uploading their music. Again, it's a privilege. It's an honor. I know I may have rushed this one a little bit. I don't know. It's 1:00 in the morning and I've been talking and I'm tired, but I'm energized. I'm all the above. But I wanted to give you this episode. And then the next episode should be a guest episode. And the next episode should be this studio done. Fingers crossed. Hope I can get there. Thanks for your support. Make sure you're following me on the socials. You're telling your friends about this podcast, Waterproof Records, because I've got some exciting things on the horizon. There might even be a really, really, really big event coming in the spring of 2026. So stay tuned for that announcement, but you will hear about it first through here probably. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with me for a mixtape. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Things are gonna change. I can feel it.
If this gonna be that kind of party, I'm gonna
Waterproof Records. Waterproof